Hey, beautiful people. Sorry about that. I'm actually just stopping into the space to chop it up with you guys. Let's go ahead and get this party started this Friday night. Right, guys, that was a little bit of dramatics for us coming into this space tonight. I am relaunching the Free Yourself Friday segment where a long time ago, what feels like a long time ago now, I used to do readings here on YouTube, free readings, just for the kicks, to be fair. I actually just like looking into the space and seeing what's unfolding and just being a companion along the journey and seeing, I guess, what your guides have in store for you, what messages they'd like to pass on, what information may not be connecting via downloads and upload streaming. So that was fun for a little bit, but it didn't really work out. So I'm back now trying something new, trying something a little bit more fresh, and hopefully we can kind of get a whole vibe going again, because I feel like at that time when I met the challenge here on YouTube, I think I didn't have 1,000 subscribers at the time, and they had updated their, I guess, background info. Okay, they updated how they were doing things and what they wanted to do. So I couldn't actually come here with you guys. Equipment wise, my stuff just wasn't in a place where I could get that done. So I was meeting resistance, to say the least. But I guess have been working through that resistance in the last couple of years, and here we are. I'm kind of back in the space. And I'm hoping to be able to provide you guys with some readings to pretty much just give some insight into potentially what may be unfolding for you. It's a one free question reading. So you get one question. Let me make myself one question. That's your free question for Free Yourself Fridays, just to sort of connect with your guides and see what they have in store and what they would actually like to pass on to you as far as a message. The question that's pretty much most imminent on your heart. Checking my phone at the same time, guys. Multitasking, that part. And once we kind of get into the groove of that situation, it's all about really trying to overstand, if you will, some of the situations that you may be sort of faced with dealing with as a result. So sometimes we need to unpack it a little bit more. So if you guys do need to ask more questions, the way that works is that you'd be able to make a payment to the PayPal link. I'm trying to look to see if I've actually got any details of that here in any of my banners so I can put that up, but I will get that up for you guys. So you can send that to my PayPal me, and I will then be able to, I'm going to check out the details to get that up on here for you guys. Scrolling across the bottom here. And whilst I do that, I'm going to keep letting you guys know the deets. So one additional question would be £3, 2 questions, £5, 3 questions, £7.50, up to 5 questions, £10, right? Because sometimes we actually have to unpack stuff, and it might take a little bit while longer than anticipated, because there may be a few questions to really be able to dissect everything so that we can digest the information that we're actually being given, and utilize it effectively for the in preparation context of it all, right? So that's pretty much how we're doing the space. I guess moving forward, I had to really be able to gain more of an understanding of how to navigate through my current circumstances, because that's not something that I can do right now, as far as being able to come on here via this lovely gadget right here. So I'm working on that for you guys. Don't worry. Then we'll be able to be BFFs. Okay? For sure, for sure. And whilst I get that info ready for you guys, because there's a lot taking place here, we're just going to wait for some people to get into the room, find themselves into a place where they are getting, I guess, what it is that they actually want to get off their chest, you know? And then we can kind of chop it up and vibe, guys. You know how these things sort of work sometimes. But I am here for a little while, so I'm going to chill and wait for some of you guys to get in here whilst I get all of this awesome info together for you guys, right? Just to sort of let you guys know as well, Ceres has actually gone retrograde in Gemini at the minute, so we've got a lot going on in class right now. It's actually very, very interesting with all the information and the flow of information that's kind of moving at the minute, you know? So it's really a case of getting connected to the downloads as they're sort of coming through. Ooh, okay, so we have a viewer. If you've got a question, put it out in the comments. Nice to have you in the room, BTW. I'm actually just getting some details together that I probably should have had together prior to coming into the space. But if you've got a question that you'd like to ask your guides, I've got many decks here. Doing for yourself Fridays, relaunching that, letting it be known, putting the intention out there. If there's anything you want to ask your guides on romance, we've got that too. Whatever it is, if you're having a bit of a dip with this Ceres retrograde already, because that's just started today, we've got the Work Your Light deck. So we've got a lot in the space, safe to say. Whatever you need, put it out there, put your question out there, and see if we can actually get some answers together. Who knows, your guides may be trying to get this information to you for a minute, and they're like, you know what, I'll just send her into the space. I'll just send her into the space as and when, you know. Right, let's have a little look and see. Can't really think of anything? No? Tell you what, seeing as you're already in this space, I'll pull some cards for you anyways, right? You can't think of a question, I'll do a general read, and we'll see how that goes. Maybe there's something that you need to know right now anyways, something you've got on your heart that you'd actually like to be able to get some clarity on, really. Let's see, guys. What's going on in this lovely viewer's life at the minute, guys? Let's have a little look and see what's going on in your world. I actually thoroughly enjoy having a little sneak peek in seeing what's going on in other people's worlds. Okay, there's a lot of indecision at the minute. You're confused about certain things. You're being tugged one way, or life is taking you one way, but your emotional ties are holding you stagnant, is the best way that I can put that. It seems like you're at a point where you're having to make a lot of difficult choices right now. Probably not the best time for you, because what I'm seeing is that you're internalizing 9 of Wands energy. So you're a little bit defensive, you're on edge, a little bit paranoid, for lack of a better way of putting it, about some of the things that may be showing up to challenge you to stand into your greatness, right? These are all the difficult choices that you're having to make. Hey, my love, this is your reading. This is for you personally. Look at that, right? So there's all these difficult decisions that you're having to make, and it seems as though because of some of the past hurts, you may be misjudging certain situations. Now, hear me out, right? Hear me out, because I can feel some resistance to that. What I mean by that is you may be overthinking certain things, and you may be creating a narrative. Not to say the narrative isn't there, but you may be creating a narrative where it is for you, my love. This one is for you. Don't worry. I got you. I'm doing a general at the minute to see what's going on in your life. So basically what they're showing me is that you're going through a little bit of emotional blockage. So you're being pulled one way, life is taking you one direction, but there's a lot of emotional connections over here that has you a little bit, I want to say, discombobulated with all the choices that you're having to make. Again, you're a little bit on edge whilst you're making these choices. So what I'd say is that when you find yourself in difficult situations, you might want to take a minute. Because what I'm seeing is that, do you have a tendency to be a little bit, I'm not going to say irrational, but do you have a tendency to be a little bit impulsive? Because that's just natural human nature. Sometimes it's hard to control our human every single waking minute of our lives, right? But answer that question. Do you struggle sometimes with your tendency to be a little bit impulsive? Because that may be the class that you're sitting at the minute. Hey, Sasha. Welcome to the room, girl. We're actually just trying to see what we can get as far as some clarity. So let's get a card for you. May I ask if I'll go to today's concert? That's okay. We'll have a little look and see. Okay, cards have already popped out on that question. On that note, Sasha, let's have a little look and see. Irie 17, like I said, your thing is about making sure that you're navigating through this little irritation that you're dealing with. There's a lot of tension, and you're not necessarily making decisions from a rash place, which you need to be a little bit mindful around that. What I can see for you, Sasha, okay. What I can see with the situation as far as whether or not you'll actually be going to the concert, that is a yes, from what I can see. Okay. That's good to know, Irene. It's good to know that you're still in the building as well. So what are they speaking about being defensive? Can you be a little bit defensive? Because when I say on edge, sometimes it can show up as defensive behavior. So is there any sort of nature of you being defensive? Do you feel a little bit fragile right now in terms of some of the stuff that you may be navigating through that you may not actually be speaking openly about, because you feel like some of that stuff is like personal stuff or private stuff that you're not necessarily feeling like you can trust some of the people around you to really share? Okay. Well, this is literally what they're telling me. Again, you may not agree, and I get this a lot because sometimes my guides be checking me and I'm like, no, I'm good. You got the wrong one. But sometimes when I go back and I look at a particular situation, so they may be talking about a particular situation. Do you find yourself at the minute struggling to be able to kind of like trust the people around you? I know that you're chilled and laid back, and that's cool. It's great to be chilled and laid back. But do you find that you're in a position where you're actually able to, speak up with the people around you? Because the main theme, I guess, that they were showing is that there's a little bit of tension, feeling a little bit on edge. So I don't know. Is there something that you're on edge about? Ask me your question, actually. Let's see. Ask me the question that you thought that you wanted to get some clarity on. And let's see if we can get some clarity in that regards for you, because there's some hesitation about something. And they're kind of saying that it's Now that holds some truth. Okay. Okay. What is it that resonated with you? You said that it holds some truth. What are some of her personal? Oh, this is going to be interesting. Next relationship partner. What are some of the personality traits that she can identify with? So one of the things that I'm seeing is that there's someone who is very warm, very nurturing. What I'm also seeing as well, I'm going to pull the cards, but they're showing me something. Oh, this is nice. You can actually have a look and see. You've got some really nice cards. There's a lot of, I guess, what I will say is that for yourself, I'm cautious around my coworkers, probably for good reason, because there's some hesitancy that I don't know if they've kind of like broken trust, and you're just like, okay, now I see you, now I know how to act around you, but for good reason. For good reason, it's probably not even the best time to come out of yourself in that particular situation, but the next person, I guess, that you find yourself in relationship with, they're definitely, what I will say is that they're a team player. When I say that, it's almost like there's somebody that's supportive, they're a cheerleader as well. I feel like it's more reciprocity. And I want to say this to you as well. I feel like the person that they're working on bringing into your orbit, right? They're definitely going to reflect a lot of the work that you've done on yourself as well. Some things they do, I'm just cautious. You gotta be careful. Definitely. Some people show one face and they've got a whole other story going on beneath the surface, and their hidden agenda, they want to keep that stuff hidden. So you're absolutely right in that place. What I'm seeing, so this is something that they're showing me, right? And we've got to be mindful of it. So what I'm seeing on the cards for this next partner, they're going to be very nurturing, very supportive, very caring, warm energy. The thing that's going on at the bottom of the situation is that there may be some sort of, how can I put it? It may be coming in like unfair circumstances. So like you got the justice card in reverse at the bottom of the deck. So it may be coming through what seems like an unfair situation or circumstance. So you guys may have a lot of issues to work through. And when I say that, it might be external situations, like external forces, like outside voices is what I'm hearing. Maybe the thing that you have to constantly work through, because it might create a lot of like friction in the relationship dynamic. Always the one thing, okay, so the one thing that they're showing me is that with your next relationship, with this kind of partner that they're going to be bringing into the space, the main lesson, I guess, and that's how I read as well, like, because I feel like God, the universe, the guides, we're all here to learn some stuff, right? And I feel like the main lesson that they're showing that you'll be learning in that relationship is accountability. And when I say accountability, I mean sometimes it may be a situation whereby this person may be overcompensating. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's not even a troublesome situation. It just seems like this person may be somebody that is a bit of a giver, and their lesson coming into the relationship with you is to find their balance with giving. And I guess your gift to them as you guys kind of play out your roles in the relationship is to be able to take accountability for how you're showing up at times in the relationship, because they, from what I can see, like they seem to have like a quiet voice, so they're very supportive, they're very nurturing, and because of that, it's almost like I don't want to say that they're a people pleaser, but that may be a part of their personality trait that they're actually reconfiguring. That's the best way that I can put it. And you guys coming together, there's a lot that you guys are going to be able to learn together. Hey, Sunbla. Welcome to the room. Put your question out there and we'll be able to kind of get around to it. But at the minute, we're kind of in Aries space, but we're doing good. I will get onto that for you. That's fine. I'll get onto that. But yeah, Erie, just be mindful that the next relationship is what I will say is going to be beautiful. I see a lot of support for you guys. I see a lot of natural chemistry. This person excites you emotionally, like they make you feel emotionally safe. And there's a part of you that may be, again, this cautious thing. It's great that you're cautious, beautiful. However, I'm not going to use the word but because that's dismissive. However, what I can see is that you're going to have to be able to rein that in as well. It's good that you're cautious, but this is a person that is going to basically earn your trust. And as they earn your trust, you have to be willing to give it to them. That is pretty much your lesson in that dynamic as well. They've got their own stuff that they'll be working through in this space, but I know you're not a people pleaser. They would be coming into the space as that kind of narrative, being a natural giver. So with you is where they'll be able to kind of like find the balance because you're not the type of person to take too much away from somebody. And that's why I guess the universe is aligning them with you. What I do want to say is that, okay, so I'm getting a little bit of a timeline here. It's going to take a little time for you guys to kind of come together. I'm seeing something happening within the next 7 weeks, but I'm not seeing actual development until maybe 3 months from now. I'm seeing 15 to 16 weeks away, basically. So that's the timeline that I'm getting as far as like you guys actually being able to sort of come together on the situation, Erie. Thank you so much for your question as well. It's always nice to kind of like, you know, connect to romance stuff and really be able to sit into the love life scope because it's always very interesting seeing what's happening, right? Sunblah, let's have a little look and see. Guys, what's taking place for Sunblah? Ooh, wish fulfillment. So there's something that you're pondering on at the minute, Sunblah. Let's have a little look. Clarify. What wishes are being fulfilled for Sunblah in the next few days as far as what's coming towards Sunblah? Let's be clear. Okay, thank you guys. Okay. As far as in terms of your home dynamics, so there's a little bit of chaos going on here. And I have to call it chaos because what I mean by that is things are a little bit disorganized at the minute. It feels a little bit all over the place right now. So what I'm seeing with the situation is there's a lot, what feels like there's a lot of options. I don't know what kind of situations you guys are kind of going through. How they're showing it to me is that there's a lot of very direct decisions that has to be made at the minute. And it's like there's certain decisions that's been kind of avoided. I don't know why you guys are putting it off, but there's certain decisions that has to be made around the home situation. I don't know if it's somebody moving out of the home or somebody that is coming around the home situation that is making the space a little bit tricky or feeling chaotic to navigate through. But it seems like that's really what's going to be, yeah, that it seems like that's really what's going to be kind of showing up for you in the next few days. What I do want to say to you, right, things are going to get a little bit more stable. I'm hearing 5 days. So it's not just, 3 days or so. I'm hearing 5 days for things to really be able to kind of like get to a balanced place. At the minute, it seems like it's moving, but it's like jerking. It's not quite like a clear path to move through. So give it 5 days. Things are going to calm down in that space for you in the next 5 days. You'll start to feel a little bit better, maybe a couple of days. There may be some sort of communication that happens like 2 days from now, where it will start to feel like, okay, things are actually moving in that direction, where it seems like, oh, it's not going to be okay, right, guys? So I have to put this across, Sunblood. They're saying that you're going to have to make some compromises. It's not going to be exactly how you want it to be. Romance, Sunblood. It's not going to be exactly how you want it to be as far as the actual situation. They're saying that there's certain things that you're actually not clear about as well. Anyways, romance, Sunblood. Let me tell you something. So there's, with the romance situation, I don't know if there's somebody that is currently in your life that you're thinking about as you're putting this out there. But they're saying, as far as that particular person that may be on your mind, that may be in your orbit at the minute, that you're considering as an option, my love, they are saying there are masks being worn in that situation. So there's some sort of dishonesty. There's something that isn't all the way clear, that isn't all the way true. There's also something to do with religious factors. So you guys may have different spiritual practices as well. And somebody may be trying to make somebody else feel more comfortable by dimming their own, how can I put it? Like their own practice. That's just the best way that I can put it. Like somebody may be dimming themselves so that the other person can like them, is what I'm hearing. If there's somebody in your orbit that you're thinking about, what I'd say is that it's not good to know. Good to know. The next person that comes into your space that you're considering, it's not a good idea, is what I'm saying. Reason being, at the minute right now, for you, what I'm seeing as far as a timeline, this is interesting. So I'm getting 12 days as far as a timeline for you. Somebody, I guess, coming into this space pretending. I wouldn't say pretending because they're being pretentious. They're not giving you their true selves. They're not really giving you the fullness of who they actually are. They're giving you their representative, basically, for lack of a better way of putting it, because they're like me. But that's not actually the person that you're actually getting to know. So somebody's, I guess, coming into this space proclaiming that space of a potential romantic lover, but you guys won't necessarily connect in the way that you'd like, unfortunately. I just have to keep it trill, beautiful. You guys won't connect necessarily in the way that you'd like, but you learn something from the experience. You learn something about what it is that you do want from a partner moving forward. So just take it as another step on the learning curve, okay? Hey, guys. Right, we are getting busy. Let me go back and have a look and see who else is in the space and what they wanted. I saw something about health. Let's have a little look and see. Hope. Okay, Hope. You asked about health. I'm going to do an intuitive read on that because I'm feeling I'm getting something directly for you on the situation. It's not necessarily just about a timeline. I'm going to like really speak to you here because I feel like there's something that you guys have really, because you've been asking this question for a little piece and you guys have been trying to communicate the downloads, but you've been so focused on a timeline, you're not letting the information flow through. So the read, I guess, that I'm getting, they're saying that it's a step-by-step process. I am going to pull cards for you to give you some sort of indication of a timeline, yes, if they don't give me a direct timeline for you, but they're saying it's something that you have to kind of like take in stages, and you're focused on, you have to find the balance because you may be focusing all of your energy on your health, your physical health. Let me put your physical health getting better, but there's a lot of things that needs to take place at the minute. You're living in mad anxiety. That's just what I'm hearing. That's what I'm picking up. You're living in a little bit of worry and concern about certain things. You may not even be discussing these things out loud, but you're internalizing a lot of these worries and these concerns. And they're saying, although you're focusing on the physical health getting better, it will in time. So don't worry about the actual timing that it's going to show up for you, is what I'm hearing, because it will, right? the thing is, right now, you need to actually like go through a spiritual rejuvenation is what I'm hearing. Emotionally, you're backed up. Mentally, it's causing a lot of erratic thoughts. Let's see. When do you see Hope's health actually improving? Give me, okay. Oh, this is a whole story, my love. God, this is a whole story. I'm going to tell the story from here, but we've got one card that actually fell away from everything else. So, right, we've got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So what I'm hearing with this is that you're lacking a little bit of focus. You're lacking a little bit of focus on what needs to be done with the situation, right? They're saying that, okay, so the best way that I can put it to you, they're saying that springtime, okay, spring 2022 is when you'll feel like you're actually past some of the recovery period of what you're doing right now. You have to get a little bit better at some of the things you're lacking in certain areas, my love. I'm sorry, they're just keeping it true. I feel so bad when I have to be so truthful, but I have to keep it true with you guys. They're saying that, you know, there's areas that you need to sort of like pick up on. You need to watch the way that you're thinking at the minute. The food that you're putting into your body as well. They're saying you need to be eating to put life into your body as well. And what I mean by that is you got to get a little bit more in tune with the alchemy of what you're doing with manifesting this new health situation, manifesting this new recovery period. You know, yes, you know, God wants to deliver you, the universe and the guides wants to be able to see you past that hurdle. But at the minute, you're not disciplined enough, my love. I feel as though it's one of those situations where you're getting a little bit better at your self-care. That's the best way I can put it, beautiful. They're just saying you're getting a little bit better at your self-care. You'll be able to see the kind of improvements that will make you feel like, okay, I feel better. Your body will feel a little bit more like it's in recovery mode by spring. Okay, 2022. There's a whole journey that's going to be taking place. You're going to be going through a lot of mental restrictions, things that you're telling yourself that you can't do, that you won't do. Do me a favor. In fact, do you a favor. Remove the word can't from your vocabulary, because that is just casting spells over your manifesting. That is just prohibiting the very thing that you're trying to manifest. So remove that from your hard drive. Take that out of your subconscious programming. Can't is simply a limitation on all of the things that you're trying to manifest, and they have to come without the limitations of can't. Okay, so that's probably one of your biggest challenge as you're navigating through this. All of the stuff that you think that you can't do are some of the things that you're going to have to take up those responsibility. Anything that you feel like you can't do, do it. I'm not going to say everything, but anything pertaining to your health that you feel like you can't do or you haven't done before, do it. Because they're saying this is where you're actually going to find the key to unlock your health. That's where you'll be able to start to see things turning around for you. That's where it will feel like things ain't just falling apart anymore. You know, that's when it will feel like you're actually getting a little bit more mentally and emotionally stable. And your physical health will start to materialize as your recovery period as a result of that. Okay, spring 2022, girl. Okay, let's have a little look. Yes, guys, you can be added to the list. Let's have a look and see what are some of the other questions in the room. I think the next one. Okay. Kanchan, okay, I hope I'm saying that right, beautiful. If you're still in the room, I'm going to go and check and see what your question was. How did she Radha felt when I didn't wish her on her birthday and didn't pick her call? Oh, all right, I can tell you that straight off the bat. I don't even feel like I need cards for it, but okay, so oh God, this is a whole bunch. So she's in her feels about it a little bit. Okay, she's in her feels a little bit about it. It was a whole like, how could she not do that? Because it was like technically her moment, her time, feeling like it was like a her day type thing. Like, you know, when it's your day, right? It's your B day, and you're like, it's my day. Everybody bow. You know, it's one of those vibes, and you just weren't in that place. It wasn't that type of situation. So I think from what I'm seeing resting bitch face, for lack of a better way of putting it. So she's not feeling great. To say the least. She feels a little bit like she's kind of backing off as well. She's kind of like protecting herself. I'm saying protecting herself, but basically she's protecting herself through fear of rejection, because I think that's what she feels like she's going to be getting from you, because there isn't really an opening. She senses that, she feels that. I want to say she knows why. I don't know what she did, but I can tell that she left a bitter taste in your mouth. What I do want to say, be mindful, okay? Be mindful how you use the energy of bitterness, okay? The spirit of bitterness comes with very tragic karma sometimes. So be mindful how you're utilizing that spirit. Be mindful how you're utilizing that energy. But for the most part, right now, she is feeling the vibe like you're just not into her on any levels whatsoever. And she's feeling a little bit rejected. I'm feeling sadness underneath there, but she's a little bit too mad and ignorant right now to really be honest with herself to say that she's actually low-key upset about that, to be fair. So yeah, that's pretty much the entire, yeah. only absolutely. And I understand that it is a case of, you know, wanting to be able to protect yourself, because I can tell that the energy between you guys for some reason is very catty. And I want to say this, it's something that isn't necessarily spoken. It seems like it's more of a catty energy beneath the tone. So I understand why you're wanting to protect your energy with this person. Kudos to you for that, because I can tell it's like very combative being in that space anyway. So that's probably the best thing for you. But she's in her feels. She actually loves to be the center of attention from what I got into this space, boy. So you not responding to her is hurting her ego. Okay. Let's have a little look and see. Let's see who else is in this space and what I can do for you guys. Right. Will I join the organization you're waiting for? Okay, Jadzia. Let's have a little look. Let me proper mix it up a little bit and see. Oh, sorry, I'm being guided. I'm being guided to the Angel Oracle deck for you guys, actually. Jadzia, the angels wants to have a personal, I guess, conversation with you on this particular topic, because there's a lot at stake with this, I'm hearing. So let's have a little look. Do you see Jadzia joining the organization they're waiting for? Okay. Right. So what they're saying is you're going to have to be assertive with the situation. There's some waiting time involved. There is some waiting time involved. You're probably going to have to follow up as well with the situation. So it's not going to be like, oh, okay, I've done all the work now, the universe, give me what I'm owed. You're still going to have to follow up on it. And it is going to be a waiting period. I'm not going to lie. I'm hearing something about after Mercury retrograde. So when Mercury goes direct, I think Mercury is due to go direct probably within the next week or 10 days or so. You will start to gain some momentum as far as like communication on the situation, because I feel like things basically they are still getting to a place where they have the room to be able to fit you in. But absolutely, my love, success is on the cards for you. I'm not making this ish up, okay? That's what they done said, but you will have to be assertive. You can't just leave it out there at the minute. You will have to follow up and, you know, call some of the necessary people out that may not be doing their job to actually like check in with you and keep you posted on the outcome of the situation, okay? But you hold the key. You hold the key. There's definitely a useful network there that you can utilize. Right. I hope that was useful for you, Jadzia. I hope that answered your question, guys. Let's go down and see what's going on. Space vibe. Oh, okay. We getting a little Friday night freaky. Okay. I'm going to do some romance cards for you. Okay. Space Vibe wants to know how V would feel if she just pull upon him right now. Let me check that out. I'm going to utilize a couple of decks for this because I'm seeing that this may be an interesting visit, actually. The situation, that's an unfolding type situation. So, Space Vibe, how would V feel? How would V feel if they pulled up right now? Okay, it's the whole thing. Okay. Right. Okay. So from what I'm seeing in the situation, how can I put it? I'm trying to like find the right words to really put the stuff into place. It feels like you're being demanding. That's appreciated. That's appreciated because you're claiming what you want, right? You're like, okay, cool. But at the same time, as much as they're happy, it may be a little bit of an inconvenient timing. And what do I mean by that? Hold up. So what I'm seeing is that it's a case of like they're having to make certain plans and switch certain things around. So they're basically having to adapt to you showing up and entering into their space, into their direct orbit. Okay. And they're going to take a minute to adjust to that. But for the most part, they would adapt to it, but they do in the end feel like you're being a little bit demanding. You're being a little bit demanding, my love. I can't put it any other way, but if you want something, claim it, okay? Like, claim it. We've got a whole bunch of stuff going on here. I think what I'm going to say on the situation for you guys is because of the time, maybe the time that has lapsed, I guess, since the romance kind of, I wouldn't say fizzle. I think the chemistry, like with chemistry, sometimes when you do too much, it gets explosive. That's just how it is, right? Sometimes certain things have to be a bit of a slow burner. I think where you guys had some time apart, that situation right there, that's why it would feel a little bit like an inconvenience. That's why it would feel a little bit inconvenient. But they'd roll with the tides. I mean, deep down, they wouldn't mind. Damn. Let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper and see what else we've got here for you guys. Who's the next person in line for reading? I hope that was useful for you, by the way. Because that was tickling me. It's like they seem a little bit confused with you turning up. They're happy, but they don't know how to feel about the situation at the same time. So it's one of those types of vibe. I think Samantha is the next person. Yeah, Samantha Keene. Should you? I always say yes if anybody's internalizing anything. I always say just put it out there. But that's just me because either way you learn something. I'm going to ask the guides if it's in your best interest to do so. So I'm going to reword that question, okay? Because the should you thing, that's dependent on whether or not you want to activate your spirit of courage, okay, my love? That's something in itself that I can't tell you how to do that. That's something that only you can go on that journey. So I'm not going to sit here and say, yes, you should just directly go. I'm going to literally ask the guides, is it in your best interest to do so? And see what unfolds from that. Because that is actually more important along the journey when we go through these types of situations. Okay, so their guidance on the situation, get my cards right, is that it would be an unlikely outcome. So what that means is that the stars haven't aligned right now for that to progress anywhere. This is why I wanted to ask the question in that way. You see, my love, because if you give them a direct question, they're just going to give you all of this riddles with it. Got to know how to work with the guides a little bit. But yeah, the stars haven't necessarily aligned for the situation to progress. Should you let them know how you feel? I would say yes, is what I'm getting. Do you guys concur? Okay, not right now, they're saying. Give it some time. Give it some time. With the situation with M, they're saying remain positive. Now isn't necessarily the right time to just put all your feelings out there, I guess. This is a person, so the best way that I can put it, like, this is a person that has their own, I don't want to say issues, but they're learning. We're all in class here, right? That's why we've all signed up for this human experience stuff to figure this shit out. So, pardon my French, guys, but with M, they're still in a place whereby they're actually learning how to be comfortable with their own emotions. So, you just putting things out there and expressing yourself. Oh, God, talk about commitment issues much. Like, you just even saying that you feel a certain type of way, they're going to get the wrong impression. Their mind's going to run off on a tangent. Let them get to a place where they're a little bit more comfortable with you. I'm hearing 4 weeks. Okay. Give it roughly at least another month or so for you guys to spend some time with each other in each other's space, getting to know each other a little bit deeper is what I'm hearing, a little bit deeper, because you're learning like all the layers of this person, and you'll actually find that they're very emotionally fragile, is the best way that I can put it. So give it about 4 weeks or so, and then I guess the stars will align for it to be a bit more of a favorable outcome for you. Okay, my love? Whew. I love a bit of spexy in the air. That's what I'm talking about. Friday night vibes, guys. I love that. That's all good, Samantha. That's all good. I'm happy to be of service. Let's have a look and see who's actually next in the queue. So I've gone through. Oh, Enchantress. Let's see. Yes, you can join in, my love. Oh, what does Nabil fantasize about me, and is he taking action towards me? Let's see. First of all, Nabil, let's go and get into it. Because what I'm seeing is that this person seems to be very hesitant. They don't know if they're coming or going, my love, and it ain't got nothing to do with you. They just seem to be indecisive in general. Okay, so don't take that personal. That's more of a them thing than a personal you thing. But I think that there's some sort of care there, but there's a little bit of discipline. I don't know. What's the dynamics between you and Nabil, if you don't mind me asking? Because I'm seeing something about discipline. There's something that's causing a bit of a holding back because of that. Give me the 411 so I can get a little bit more clarity on what it is that they're saying with this guidance here, beautiful. Let me scroll and see if you got any insight for us. Okay, you brushed it off. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense, because I'm seeing that there was a little bit of a barrier there. If you want to know if they're still interested, yes, girl. Yes, they're still interested, if that's what you're asking. They're definitely still interested. I think you're brushing it off, actually. So it's interesting. It made them, I wouldn't say necessarily want you more per se. Hear me out. It made them want you differently. It actually made them see you in a different light. So it feels like they now have to up their standard to be able to be worthy. That's the best way that I can put it. So kudos to you, girl. What I would say with the situation, let's go back to the actual question. What does Nabil fantasize? Let's see what does Nabil fantasize about in Enchantress. Let's just get some clarity on this stuff. Okay, romance. That's nice. He's on some I guess Knight of Cups energy in this space, but I want to put this across to you with the situation, right? He's feeling a little bit resentful. The rejection thing, so that bruised his ego a little bit. What I want to say for you with the situation is that they're going through acceptance. They're going through acceptance of your actual your decision, and they got feelings there, man. I can't lie. Hey, you played that nice, girl. I'm sorry. This is why I like doing readings, because I like to tune into other people's worlds and see what's going on. It's like literally live theater. What I do want to say is that you keeping him on his toes, he still has feelings invested into the space, so he's still feeling you. But and however, his ego is bruised by the rejection, but he's still feeling you. He's still got mad feelings. It actually makes him excited. It makes him excited. It's the vibe that I'm getting. It actually makes him want you more in other ways, if you know what I mean. Is he taking action? Let's see. We want to get some clarity on whether or not he's taking action. Is he going to be... Oh, okay. Let's see if he's going to be taking action. Okay, so in... Girl. Okay, so here's the 411, beautiful. It's not going to be an overnight situation. This brewing feelings that he's trying to suppress and he's trying to hold down because he's like, no, I don't want to commit right now, but she makes me feel like I want to commit because I want her. With that situation going on beneath the surface, they're going through a process of reconsidering certain things. They're going through a process of reconsidering certain things, as are you as well, right? So they're going to come back with a different negotiation. Okay, negotiation shall continue. Within, I want to say, from what I'm seeing, it can be anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks. Now, why there's a 2-week window is because there may be some procrastination in space of that 2 weeks. So it's like a whole 2 weeks of actual delayed communication, because it's the whole sitting on the thought, sitting on the feelings, not actually acting on anything. But about 3 weeks from now, there's some momentum picking up where the feelings are being forced to the surface by certain situations and circumstances. He be realizing, like, ain't no one like Enchantress out here. Okay, and having to take that in his strides a little bit and really thinking, like, am I really going to find a connection like that again? And do I really want to basically, he's not ready to commit. I'm not going to lie to you. He's not ready to commit. Like, I can fully feel the fear of the commitment on his heart. But, and however, he's intrigued by you. And you make him feel as though he might be inspired to change that, but he doesn't know how. So it wouldn't necessarily be a smooth sailing situation, but he is going to have, I guess, negotiations will resume within 3 to 5 weeks from now. You guys will basically kind of like be moving past this indecision hurdle that you guys are navigating through at the minute. I can't, this is what they're saying to me. I can't tell you the outcome per se either way, because there's a lot of variables to the negotiations. There's things that he's coming to the table with that you're not all the way 100% with. So there's a lot of things that you will have to be able to assert yourself as well, as far as what you need from him with the situation, and vice versa as well, because his fear of commitment is a real thing for him. It's a very big shadow that he has to navigate through. And yeah, there's a lot of unfortunately, there's a lot of abandonment issues that has shown up as fear of neglect. So the whole like you kind of like putting him in his place thing kind of triggered that or spiked it a little bit because it felt like rejection and then felt like being neglected all over again. However, he respects it because it showed him again your worth. So he's down for the chase, girl. At least I'll put it like that. He's down for the chase. So that's that, I guess. That's where he's at with that situation. But let me know how that goes because I'm picking these back up. So you can stop back into the space and let me know how you guys are actually moving forward with that situation. I can understand him asking you to confess your feelings because he wants, like, he has fear of actually being neglected in that situation. He don't want to feel like he is feeling more for you than you're feeling for him because, yeah, I don't think his ego can handle it, unfortunately. He's very fragile, man. Very, very fragile emotionally with the fear of commitment thing. That's like a big thing for him. Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to say this to you. He's not necessarily, it seems like he's ignoring you. Hey, Gwendolyn, welcome to the room. It feels like he's ignoring you. Honestly, he's nursing his ego. That's all it is. Don't take it personal. He's just nursing his ego at the minute because he feels some type of way. The rejection thing, like it felt like rejection. Okay, so don't take it too personal. He'll be able to come around. All good, my love. All good. All good. So let's go and have a look and see who else is in the building waiting for their reading, guys. Okay, I think Shreya was next. Okay, Shreya. Okay. When will the communication between Sagittarius, and myself, Taurus, smoothen out in this connection? Oh, girl. I can tell for you guys that it's been a long road with the situation, a lot of back and forth. Let's have a little look and see what's going on the cards for you because honestly, even tuning into this space, I feel like that is taking up a lot of my mind space already. So I can imagine what it's like for you constantly actually being in this space. So great way to utilize your one question, girl. I can't lie. Yes, exactly. It felt like, what's the last 3 years or so been like? Because I feel like the last 3 years or so, I wouldn't say it's been a downward decline. I don't want to sort of like refer to it as such, but I want to say 3 to 4 years actually, because I'm getting that like it started to get sketchy like the last 4 years or so. Lots of back and forth. Yeah. I think from what I can feel in the space, right? Both of you guys want the same thing from each other and neither of you are actually giving it in the way that you guys want to receive it. What do I mean by that? So let's break it down. This is universal math. I wish I had like an actual board. I'm going to get a board, guys, and then I can actually like write stuff down as they're showing it through my third eyes. Yeah, the last 3 to 4 years I'm hearing has probably been like your most tumultuous thus far. You guys have been through a lot of stuff, but the last 3 to 4 years have been like very, very impactful towards the relationship. So what I'm seeing is a lot of what it. Oh, Meerkat, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna come back to you. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna come back to you. Let me go back up and have a look and see. Oh, I didn't see you. I'm going to come back to you because I can see there's a lot of stuff that they're going to be helping you work on that over the course of, I want to say, at least the next 6 months. So you're about to be schooled. So I'm going to come back and unpack that for you. But Shreya, what I'm seeing with the situation is there's a lot of you guys are basically dismissing each other, and that's your main issue with the communication thing. Both of you guys are fighting so hard to be heard, to be seen, to be validated. Neither of you are actually saying, okay, my love, I see you. Okay, baby, I receive you. I don't necessarily have the same viewpoint or perspective, but you're opinion has expanded my vision on the situation. You know, sometimes we just kind of have to give more of what it is that we want. And sometimes when we're not getting it, the universe is asking us to charge that up a bit. So if you want to basically be heard a little bit more, you have to practice a little bit more listening. If you want to basically be in a position where it feels like your priority, you have to do a little bit more prioritizing. um Even when we talk, there's so much friend. Well, this is the thing. This is where the passion can be misconstrued, and I think that this is what's causing a lot of this like combative energy that you guys are experiencing. It's just passion, my love. It really is just passion. I think it's just the way that you guys are doing the dance. You guys are a little bit more. You guys are a little bit too deep into the passion of it all. One of you guys in those moments of passion needs to come up for some air at certain point, oxygenate the mind so you can come back down into the space and give it a little bit more of a truce type of situation, because sometimes it's not about even being right, because technically even when you're right, you're wrong to somebody else. Like, it's all subjective. So it's really just about finding a way where it doesn't feel like you guys are dominating each other, because I feel like that's a part of the struggle with the communication sometimes as well. But I see him as stuck as of now. I tried to step it up a bit by expressing my feelings, but he's so closed off. He's not. Yeah, join the queue, my love. He's not closed off to you. He's closed off to himself. Don't take it personal. Most men struggle with their emotional intelligence, and that in turn affects their emotional maturity. So he may not be the emotional age of his physical age at the minute, and he has to still grow and mature in that area or aspect of himself. And the one thing that I can sort of recommend to you is just being supportive to him, and yourself, because this is something that you've invested a lot of time in and you actually want to be able to see it through. I'm going to see if they're willing to give me a timeline on the situation. Like, cards just dropped out, I guess, pretty much straight away. The communication, they're saying that the communication can actually pick up instantaneously. Yeah, I thought he was pretty much brushing me aside, and yes, he's yeah, he is. I want to say he's actually. I want to say he actually has the emotional intelligence. I want to say maybe about 7.5. I think he may be stuck there. I think there may be a trauma there that is affecting his romantic relationship with you, that is causing this blockage that you're experiencing as literally him ignoring you. And it's not that he's ignoring you, he's ignoring a part of himself, which is basically connected to the class that you guys are in, which is this romance class. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to unpack with his situation, unfortunately. What I say as far as like timing with the situation is that things are going to pick up. Things will start to change, but it's not going to be an overnight situation. They're saying to me that this is something that may take at least 4 months or so. Okay, my love. It may take about 4 months or so for you to kind of like see the communication pick up, but you're going to have to keep doing some work basically in that space. And it went down there's a lot of trauma that he has that is really affecting you guys actually being able to come together. It's causing like a lot of this type of energy, right? It's static, so the energy isn't able to flow. If 4 months is still better, I like your optimism, Shreya. Keep that same energy, because it is going to be like tricky, feeling like the way that he's dealing with the situation is a personal reflection on you, because it really isn't. It's just where he's at on his own personal journey with himself and his maturity, unfortunately. So just be patient, my love. 4 months from now, you'll be able to start to see things feeling at least like it's starting to have some breakthrough moments for you guys. Okay, now I cannot forget Meerkat. Meerkat, let it be known. Okay, let me go back to your question. Let me go back and find your question, Meerkat. Right. Meerkat. How do people currently view you? Oh, okay. Let's see. How do people see Meerkat? How do people see them? Like when they see them. Okay, so the first thing that I'm hearing is they see you as an attractive person externally. There's a lot of things that people don't necessarily say directly to you, is what I'm hearing in the space as well. Can I ask Meerkat and be honest now? Because the guides, they literally they keep it 100. They don't keep it 98 or 56. Do you sometimes have a little bit of an attitude problem? Do you sometimes have a little bit of an attitude problem? It's okay. We all do, because even as I'm like shuffling the cards, they're not giving me anything on the cards. They're actually like directly letting it be known what the situation is. Attractive, a little bit. You do try to be polite. You do. And I think that's why I asked if there's a bit of an attitude, because you deliver it tactily towards my family. And I get that because I'm seeing it like a little bit of a side eye type thing. Like I see people be like, did that just really happen? Yes, it did. For whatever reason, Meerkat felt like it was viable, and that's all they need to know. But people actually see you as somebody that's influential. I don't know if you find yourself being that way, or if you see yourself in that way, but people actually see you as somebody that's influential. So they actually do value your opinion. And I think it's one of those things where sometimes you can be a little bit of a realist to keep people in check a little bit. So you can check their naivety a little bit. And I think that that's probably why people may, even though they don't like to admit it, that's probably why people like to be able to come to you when it comes to certain situations. For the most part, people think that you're a nice person. They feel like you've been going through a little bit of a transition, though. What's this about? I don't know what's been going on here, Meerkat, but it's like at the minute they're observing you going through this transition where you felt stuck, or you feel stuck at the minute, and you're kind of moving through it. You're kind of treading water carefully through it. Okay, so some people are viewing it as well that maybe there are situations or circumstances, yeah, that you feel stuck in, and they feel that that may be a part of the quote unquote attitude problem. Okay. The thing with you, Meerkat, is I have some days where I'm fine and others where I feel, and I understand that. And honestly, like that's natural. Do you know what I mean? Like, especially when we're trying to create these new realities for ourselves and we're trying to manifest these new timelines. Like, it took me a minute to like ground onto this timeline, even though I was trying to manifest it for like 2 years. Okay. When I got here, I'm like, well, what the hell do I do now? I don't even know how to adapt to it, you know? So it's natural for you to actually be in that place where it feels like when you're being, you know, when you're planting seeds and God is planting those seeds within your avatar, basically, through your experiences, and it's about to go through the unfolding process, and you're going to grow throughout the process of that, and you'll be able to see the seeds that God's kind of like planted within you. As you're kind of navigating through that, sometimes it can get dark. Sometimes depression, the pressure of life can lead to depression, and depression can sometimes convince us that the narratives that it's spinning is real, that it's true. But just stay strong. what I'm hearing is that your main issue that you're having as far as like this feeling stuck situation is preparation. You're not necessarily doing, there's things that you want to do, but you're too busy procrastinating. And let me tell you something about the spirit of procrastination, right? Because this is an underrated shadow. The spirit of procrastination can basically highlight to you all of the reasons why you are not motivated and what is basically standing in the way of you being able to meet your full potential. So don't look down at yourself right now for whatever it is that you're going through that is keeping you in this place where you feel like, oh, you can't move. Guess what? This is your still moment. You're not supposed to. This is your moment of preparation. This is your moment of planning. This is your moment of basically receiving your downloads, letting God pretty much let you know all of the intentions that he's got on your heart, like getting you ready for purpose. So not only, because God has so much faith in us, sometimes we really don't see a lot of that faith within ourselves. So you're working, my love. I'm not going to lie to you. You're working on your self-esteem. Okay. You're working on your self-esteem because a lot of the things that you haven't necessarily done yet, why you haven't been able to activate the spirit of courage within yourself is because you're still busy waiting for something outside of yourself to inspire you. Okay. When it comes to self-esteem, it's the esteem of self. So you have to be entirely enough to be able to give to yourself whatever it is that you need. Nothing outside of you is going to show up and give you the thing that you're looking for. But what you can do is actually, Isabel, join the queue. What you can do with a situation is when those moments of despair shows up, when you're battling through your valley moments because you're about to get ready to climb that mountain, you're going to need everything for that mountain. You're going to need water, you're going to need make sure you've got the right food. And when I say that, I'm speaking metaphorically. When I'm talking about water, I'm talking about making sure that you're genetically activated, you're genetically charged, like making sure that the self-esteem situation, like that's not so the best way that I can put it to you, put it like this, right? God is trying to bless you with certain things, but then for all intents and purposes, because you're still navigating through your low self-esteem, right? It's like that can be smelt on your energy. Do you see what I'm saying? It can be smelt on your chi. So it's one of those things where God is helping you to work through some of those toxicities within yourself at the minute. And when I say toxicities, it's like there's certain people around you that have basically been playing some mad mental mind games for the longest, right? For the longest, which is why you're navigating through this low self-esteem. Listen, the low self-esteem shadow, it's not your true narrative, but it is your conditioned perspective based on the things that you've experienced. So you may have some of the people, I'm hearing you may have your abuser. I don't want to put it like that, but there's somebody that is mentally manipulative around you and they're still very much present in your orbit. And having that person around in your orbit at the minute as well is what is basically keeping you in a position where you cannot, or you are struggling to summon the spirit of courage and move past this low self-esteem stuff, right? What you got to work at is self-worth. When we got low self-esteem, we got to identify our worth to be able to elevate that esteem. Okay, go back to class and really address some of your programming about your self-worth, and that will help you to be able to raise your self-esteem. But for the most part, people look to you like you're an attractive person, a little bit of an attitude, but you're tactile about the way that you deliver stuff, and that is what makes you influential, and that is why you will be used in amazing ways, provided that you are actually able to work through the self-esteem stuff. Okay, Meerkat, that was worth coming back for, so I'm glad that you pulled me up on that, my love, because things are going to really unfold for you in magnificent ways beyond your dreams. Trust me, Spirit's going to do awesome things with you. Don't worry. Right, guys, let me go and see if I can find who's next. God, there's been so much stuff since then. I think Gwendolyn entered the room. How does my behavior appear to those around me in general? In the nicest way, Gwendolyn, you give people an inferiority complex sometimes. I'm just gonna get straight into it. This is how they're giving it to me, okay? You give people an inferiority complex because you are somebody that is experienced in ways. You've got a lot of knowledge, you've got a lot of wealth, and you've got a lot of wealth in the way that you can communicate your knowledge as well. You can articulate your wisdom. And because of that, it does leave people who are basically in their lower vibrations feeling some sense of inadequacy to you. The beautiful part about that as well is that you are utilized as a tool of admiration. So God definitely is able to utilize you in a way where you can inspire other people. What I do want to say as well, because I'm seeing other stuff in this space as well, right? There's a couple of other things. Do you call people out? I just have to put it out there. I don't even know if you're still in the room, Gwendolyn. Hopefully you're still here, waiting for me to get around to you. But oh, that's okay, Meerkat. With what I was seeing in the situation for you, Gwendolyn, it was like you have a tendency to call people out, and they don't necessarily appreciate it in the moment. Later down the line, they can kind of like see why that was necessary and how much they've been able to grow from the situation. But for the most part, it makes them feel as though, I don't know. You're very powerful. That's the best way that I can put it. I feel like people just generally seem to feel some sense of inferiority when you're around. Your presence is very present, for lack of a better way of putting it. Your presence is very present. It's very big. It's very overwhelming to some people. Thank you, Gwendolyn. I'm glad to know that you're still in the room. So, yeah, let me know if what they're kind of like putting across is resonating so far, because for the most part, they're actually saying that sometimes because you can be direct sometimes, some people can actually read it as being cold, because they don't have, I'm not going to say they don't have, they're still working at their own emotional management. So your ability to be direct sometimes, sometimes people can receive it as a little bit cold, but it's just you being direct. And sometimes people are used to going around to get what they're trying to say across. And yeah, for the most part, there are people that I find overall, the main thing that I'm getting is intimidating. People find you to be intimidating, not for any particular reason, as far as anything that you do. It's just the way that you are. It's just the way that you carry yourself. You carry yourself being very sure of yourself. And you carry yourself seemingly quite secure within yourself, at least on the surface. So for a lot of people, the way that they read that, it actually just highlights all of the areas where they're lacking in those qualities themselves. So that may be a little bit of the struggle that you navigate through with people a lot of the times, and those qualities about yourself. Oh, I think you may be a few seconds. I think it might just be the streaming. The streaming may be a few seconds behind, but those people that kind of are underappreciating these very beautiful qualities that you carry, and these beautiful attributes that you have been working at mastering over your years. It's just jealousy, for lack of a better way of putting it. Like it may just be jealousy for some people. Them not necessarily feeling like they're where you're at in terms of your own journey and their own, I guess, like for themselves. Some people are still learning to like themselves, and it seems that the way that they read you is that you love yourself, which that's not a bad thing, you know. But people like to be around you for the most part, even though you have this very overwhelming presence that can be quite intimidating. They actually like to be around you, like they want to draw closer to you, regardless of the facts. Okay, I hope that that was useful for you. I feel like there's still so much in there. There's like a whole story that they could tell me about the people around you, boy. You definitely have a way of connecting to people and mirroring people back to themselves. That's what I'd say to you, Gwen. There's a lot. There's a lot in there for you or coming through for you. Let me go back up and see who else entered the space. If I am missing anyone. Nope. Okay. Let me go back down and see who's in the building waiting for a reading. Hopefully you guys are still here. I think Isabel's next. Okay, yeah, no, hopefully you've actually put your question in the chat, Isabel, because if you haven't, it's actually probably going to take me a minute to even be able to kind of get all the details. If you haven't already put your question in the chat, Isabel, please do, my love. Yeah, that would be awesome, because I don't think I can see your question in the actual chat. Oh, go for it. Oh, no, that's fine, Gwendolyn. That's fine. Come back into the room. Honestly, this is going to be like my Friday night chill session with you guys. I actually miss being able to do this and just tune into the space with you guys. Any message you need to hear at this time? Okay. Let's see. What does Isabel need to know, guys? Like, what's the main thing that she needs to know right now? Okay, I'm hearing that you're actually learning to adapt to some sort of financial situation or financial opportunity. What's that about? If that's resonating, let me know, because then we can get the cards out and unpack this right here, right now. Okay, Isabel, let me know. They're saying it's about adapting to some sort of financial opportunity or something manifesting into the space surrounding finances potentially. Let me know. So let's actually pull some cards for you and see what they want to let you know. Message for Isabel that she needs to know at this time. What's her message, guys? As clearly as you can. Oh, they're still taking me back to the finance thing. They're still taking me back to the finance thing, Isabel. What's going on? Is there something right now that you're kind of working at? Go next. No, you are going to go next. Beautiful. You are going to go next. Ooh, it's Liz. I like that. No, you are going to go next. I think Isabel was a little bit up there. She said she came into the space, didn't really put her question out there. So we just got the opportunity for her to put that out there. But then it is you. Promise. I think you're actually probably the last one manifesting around finance. Okay, because they refused to give me anything from the card. They're like, no, like, let's just have a general conversation about this, because there's something about finance that you're working on. So thank you for confirming. So what I'm seeing with that situation, you need to change your mindset, my love. You're going to ham, for lack of a better way of putting it. It's okay. So ham is an English. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. What do I mean by that? So you're overthinking it. You're overthinking it. And the way that you're trying to manifest this financial opportunity is really from a scarcity mindset, which is constantly giving you this. So you're not able to hold on to it. You're constantly finding that whatever you're bringing in is simply just being filtered through. The thing for you is to actually identify how to appropriately invest. Okay. So it's not about, right, my love. They're taking me into your lineage, girl. I'm so sorry, Isabel, but they're gonna really unpack some stuff for you with this. So money management seems to be a thing within your lineage. It's something that you're still navigating through the lineage's karma when it comes to that, right? So for some reason, when you guys have money, it doesn't stay. It kind of like filters through, because there isn't the, I don't want to say like proper education on where to place the money or how to invest the money, but that does play a big part in the situation, basically. They're saying even now there's things that you could be doing to make more money, but you're too busy holding on to the money. You're too busy holding on to the money, my love. They're saying that you're too scared. You're too scared. So again, it seems like we're literally like, so courage is the first spirit when we're sort of like moving through the low vibrations of ourselves. Like courage is first, we all have to break past this barrier or this threshold of the spirit of courage so that we can summon that, you know, DNA activation, that DNA genetic charge within ourselves. For you, it seems as though you're actually navigating through a lot of core beliefs around money that is, it needs updating, my love. It needs updating. I'm hearing that there's certain things that doesn't necessarily align with you anymore, but you still carry those programmings around money in your subconscious hard drive. So there may be situations with, how can I put it? Like you don't, and I don't even want to like say this like it's very factual, but this is how they're kind of like putting it across to me. Like you, yeah, I can understand your past actually holding you back. Trust me, it's a whole situation with your lineage. There's a lack of self-worth situation kind of taking place there. That's why you're struggling with the money situation. Again, you might have to shift up some of your core beliefs around money. What are some of the things that you've been taught about money? Is money the root of all evil? Because this kind of stuff, nobody wants to actually be manifesting evil, especially when they're on their spiritual path. I mean, demons are spirits too, but nobody wants to be able to be sitting and hosting those kind of entities within themselves knowingly. Do you know what I mean? So I understand that the past, I'm gonna use a different dialect with you on that. I understand that your past has held you back. I want you to speak positively over your life. Okay, this is the because when you say my past holds me back, so you're putting that spell out there into the universe. So if you're trying to manifest this financial prosperity, that listen, the universe has that. Your name is written on it, signed, sealed, delivered. It's coming. It's not here yet. It's coming. Okay. But it's one of those situations where I can understand why there's a self-worth issue. When we go through navigating through narcissistic relationships, it definitely depletes a lot of our self-worth. And it brings us to a place where our vibration is so low when it comes to our worth value that we accept less than we deserve, unfortunately. And because of that, you're not going off topic, beautiful. Trust me, you're definitely right on topic, because these things correlate. They 100% correlate. Okay. If you've been in a situation where you have experienced narcissism for 18 years and you were in a toxic relationship for 18 years, that again says a lot about your patience. So, okay, let's look at the situation. Let's look at your strengths that you've got from that situation. Most cases, anybody navigating through a dynamic with a narcissist, they're usually the empath in the situation. It's just the law of averages. It's the way that these things work, right? Two narcissists can't be together because those demons will eat each other alive. Okay, so we want to look at your ability to be compassionate, right? Write these down, Isabel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be like so direct and demanding, but I need you to write these down because you can't see yourself, or you're struggling. Let me use that. You are struggling to see yourself, which means you're not able to see the full value of what you bring to the table. And I'm going to break a little equation down for you very quickly. And then I'm going to move on to, it's Liz. And she's our last for the evening, and then we'll be able to sign out of the space. But in going through a situation with a narcissist, you have deep empathy, which means you're compassionate, you're loyal, you were committed to that situation, as toxic as it was for 18 years. those are some of your better qualities. Naivety needs to be a little bit more balanced. Okay, so your tendency to be naive, which is why you actually kind of committed to the situation for 18 years. All that means is that you need to kind of like get a little bit more realistic as you're making certain decisions. Be brutally honest with yourself about the situation for what it is, so that you can actually make some realistic decisions moving forward. But your past doesn't hold you back, my love. You hold you back. If you let that past hold you back, that's on you. And I just want to put that out there. That's on you. You have to work through your linguistic, change the way that you're narrating your story, because it's a beautiful story. That journey that you've been through with the knock that you went through, that prepared you for something so big, something so grand. It's just you're still working at getting to a place where you feel worthy of that purpose that God has written on your heart. So once you get to a place, like I said, write down some of these things that I said. You're empathetic, compassionate, you're loyal. You need to work on your naivety to balance that out with realism a little bit. And you also need to know when to say no. Okay. Boundaries is a very important lesson for you as you're navigating through situations, because you're a good, kind-hearted person. And sometimes you can let people take advantage of you. So you might have to go all the way back into childhood to understand which, maybe even both of your parents had some narcissism syndrome activation, which has caused you to be in this prolonged state of normality with this narcissist that you 18 years of that. Like, do you know how difficult it is to contain the environment of a narcissistic being? Okay, because you've been able to go through a situation where that has been normalized for you in childhood. Again, like I said, it might have been one or both parents that had normalized that contract with that spirit, with that shadow, that low vibration, to the point where it took you 18 years in that relationship to grow up to an actual adult, if you look at that as well. Hey, Lucy. Thank you for stopping in the room, beautiful. I literally did say, ooh, it's Liz is the last person tonight. I will make the final exception for yourself, but after that, I'm gonna sign out, guys. I love y'all, and I like to be in this space with you guys, giving you guys as much insight as I can provide. But I also have to go bed soon, at least, or at least a nice glass of wine. Damn, chill out for the Friday night. But what I'm saying to you, Isabel, is this goes deep. This runs deep. And there's a lot of generational patterns that's been broken in the process of you going through everything that you've gone through and what you're going through now. You just kind of have to learn, like, boundaries is going to be your main lesson moving forward. And boundaries, let me be very clear, boundaries aren't just about, oh, you can't do this to me, or oh, you can't do that to me. It's, oh, I cannot allow myself to be in this kind of environment. This is not conducive to a quote unquote safe environment for myself. And I do not have the tolerance for this kind of environment or atmosphere at this time. I do not have the capacity to withstand this kind of these levels of toxicity right now, because I'm still healing from an 18-year environment that took a lot out of me. Okay, that's what I mean when I speak on boundaries, because a lot of the time we want to tell people how they can't treat us, but we allow ourselves to be treated by ourselves a certain type of way by the poor decisions that we make sometimes. Okay, and God is teaching a very important lesson. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff, even at for absolutely trust me, we never stop learning, man. That's the whole point, like, of being here, having these little experiences. But trust me, like, things are going to get better. I just got like a timeline for you as far as like a solution to the situation. 45 is the age that I got for you. Okay, by 45, the journey that you're on with all of this stuff that you're still navigating through and learning, you'll basically be in a different level up. 45. I don't know, there's something that happens on your timeline around about 33, 34. But yeah, 30, 33, 43, 44. By 45, you'll be in a better place with the situation. Okay, you'll actually be positioned in a much better place where you can actually look back and see how far you've come with certain situations. Okay. It's Liz. Let's see now. Let me see where you put your actual question. Hopefully you're still in the room, girl. Because I know you were waiting for a minute. Let me go back up and see if I can find your question. Yes, you can ask a question. I'm going back to see if I can find your actual question. Oh, I can't find your question. Okay. I'm trying to get in the military and I can't decide whether to go Air Force or Army. So which one? And this is interesting actually because I can see that there's different parts of you that likes them both for different reason. I actually think that you'd probably enjoy the Air Force more. The reason why I say that is because it seems as though that's a new experience for you, and I actually see you being able to grow a little bit more in that space. I feel like the army is it sounds stupid me saying that that's a safe option considering the actual I guess dynamics of the situation, because these are both obviously very tense sort of situations, but Air Force is what I'm hearing. It wasn't even a question. Like, the truth is your heart desires the whole Air Force thing. I don't know who may have projected the thought of the army thing in your mind, but deep down you know that the Air Force is actually really what you want to do. So just be honest with yourself, girl. That's all I say, because even when I was reading the question, like your heart center was just like your gravitational field was just pure excitement for the Air Force situation as opposed to the Army situation. Okay. But I hope that that's useful for you, because that was like short, concise, direct, and to the point. We are well, Louise. We are definitely well. Thank you guys for stopping into the space. I think, Lucy, I don't know if you've popped your question into the space. That's okay. It's good. Now, honestly, your heart was very direct. Your heart was very direct with the situation. It's like, I would prefer the Air Force. The Army thing, that's cool, but the Air Force, I feel like that's more exciting. It's more exhilarating. There's so much more that I could do, learn, grow. Like, that's where I really see you being able to expand. You'll actually be able to grow so much as a person in that dynamic as opposed to the Army, from what I can see. Okay. I'm waiting, I guess, for Lucy to pop her question into the chat, and then we'll wrap it up, I guess. Lovely to have you in the space, Louise. Your energy is so lovely. It's so amazing. Thank you guys for stopping in and just kind of chilling with me this Friday evening as well. It's been nice to actually just look into you guys' space. Hey, oh God, you guys are coming into the space. It's wrap up time. Hey, my love. Hope you're doing well this Friday evening. I don't actually even know if Lucy's still in the space. I'm only. Oh, that's okay, Louise. Keep it up. You're doing well with your aura, girl. Your aura feels nice. It's very friendly and warm. So thank you for stopping in and bringing that vibe to our space. We love that. I am not sure. No, you're good. No need to apologize. I know how it works when God puts me to work. Like, I'm off duty when He says I'm off duty. So it's fine. If you got a question, put it out there. It's cool. You know? It's one of those things. Like, I'm actually here to just be able to answer whatever needs to be sort of answered. You know, there's questions that you guys have on your hearts, and God's trying to get some of these downloads through, but a lot of the times we're so busy in thoughts. It's difficult, man. It's challenging for the downloads to come through sometimes, and the guides are having a hard time basically being able to try and convey what they want to convey. That's okay. Put your question out there because I'm still waiting for thank you. Would it be a good idea to go on a date with Sean? Oh, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna pull some cards on it. What I'm saying to you is it's an unrequited love. I'm seeing that straight off the bat. So what I mean by that is that a relationship would take a lot of work. And I know you're just talking about a date, but let's be clear, like when females say, oh, like, should I go there? They mean, do I want to go and let them know that technically they're in a emotional entanglement with me and we're technically in a relationship that they don't necessarily know about just yet? So that part. No, like seriously, I know, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It would be a tricky situation. He has a lot of issues. And what I mean by that, now hear me out. Sean may have the wandering eye issue, the grass is greener syndrome, as I like to. God has schooled me in that class a few times. Okay, the grass is not always greener. It's about maintaining your grass. It's about making sure that you're watering the grass, you're talking to the grass, encouraging the grass that you've got to grow. It would be a challenging relationship situation. So you guys would find yourselves going through a lot of emotional blockages with the situation. You may want it, I'm not going to say more than he does. You may want it differently to what he does. What's his past relationship history like? Because I'm sensing that he's a little bit confused as to whether or not he actually wants a relationship right now. I mean, there's feelings there towards you, but relationship, I don't think he's there yet, in all honesty. I can't even be covering my mouth while I'm saying it. I just feel like I'm just keeping it true with you guys. Do you know what I mean? And I have to, because the guys are just being real. It would be hard work, my love. And if you do, okay, no, why are you confused? And a lot of the times when we think that we're the only one in a certain place in the relationship, we're actually reflecting each other. So he may be confused in a lot of different other ways. Why are you confused, my love? Let me know. So maybe I can get some more clarity on what they're trying to say with the situation as well. Because what I'm hearing with that situation, I don't know, for some reason I'm getting a timeline of like 1 year. I don't know how long you guys have known each other. So I don't know if that timeline is indicative of maybe how long this situation may be playing out. He's nice, but I've been single for long, so it's scary. Okay. Okay. You're going to have to work at overcoming that fear, my love. It is going to be tricky with him. I'm not going to say that it's going to be smooth sailing, because I'd be lying in saying that it is, because you will constantly, it's not even just, okay, I'm going to let him back into the space. You're going to have to work through a lot of classes with this person, basically. There's a lot of lessons to learn. It seems like you're learning lessons on trust, and actually being okay. He has to work very, very hard at earning your trust and making you feel emotionally safe and secure. That's also a part of the challenge as well. I feel like if you pursue it, the first year is going to be your most challenging together. That's all I can say to you on the situation. If you pursue it, your first year will be the most challenging. After that, things seem a little bit easier, but I think that's due to the resistance that you and him may be feeling, because he'll be confused for his own reasons as well, because he'll be trying, I guess, so hard to get some stuff through. Throw your question out there, Empress. Why not? I promise, guys, I really am going to go there. When this gets to 2 hours max, I'll probably just jump out of the room in that case. But I'm going to go now. If that's okay, Ashika, can I ask another question related to my love life? I am doing just a one question reading. So if you kind of wanted to sort of like dive deeper into like more questions and stuff, I was supposed to put like the PayPal stuff up, but you can tune in next Friday. I'm going to be live again next Friday, and we can get you that one question in next Friday and really sort of like unpack it. Because if you want to continue to ask questions about your romance, I can tell that your romantic situation actually requires a lot of unpacking. So yeah, tune in where I've got a little bit more time to really like dive deep into some stuff. Hopefully you've like subscribed as well. That way you can know when I'm going live as well next week, and you can come into the space early so we can have some time to really dive into the unpacking of it for you. Okay, my love. But yeah, I hope that that's useful. The first year, a little bit bumpy, but after that, I won't say smooth sailing, but it feels a little bit more like you guys are able to swim with the tides. Right, let me go back to Louise. Now, Louise has got some stuff going down. I'm having a challenging time at the moment. Family member and daughter. I'm getting a lot of sick from family. I'm feeling really stuck. Can you see anything on this at all, please? Oh, Louise, that makes me sad for you, beautiful. That makes me sad for you. Okay. What can we see for Louise? Let's have a little look and see. What can we see for Louise? Oh, I'm seeing some lost opportunities, or what feels like lost opportunities. There's things that you're really pondering on, where it's kind of like leaving you mentally restless, unfortunately. What are some of these lost opportunities that you're kind of pondering on? Because you never miss anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like an Amazon delivery. Okay, when God is delivering to you, he never misses. It's like it might take some time as far as divine timing, because there's so many other things that needs to happen, and he's got other stops and stuff that he's got to do. But trust me, like, what is for you will never pass you. Okay, and what is for somebody else, I mean, we can try and mirror other people's timeline, but ultimately what is for them will actually be for them as well. Okay, daughter's 7. Okay, separation with the partner, co-parenting. I'm really not trying to like put all of your business out here, Louise. So I really hope that you're comfortable sharing as much info as possible, because basically I'm asking these questions because they're giving me very direct answers about certain things. And I'm hearing that there's a little bit of conflict taking place in terms of, okay, more sensitive. What star sign's your daughter, if you don't mind me asking? Just so that I have a little bit of an understanding of her development at the minute. Okay, brother-in-law. Okay. Because I was seeing a little bit of conflicts that's causing some tension in the co-parenting situation. Okay. It's important, like with your daughter at the minute as well. So, it's important that she learns how not to internalize her feelings. That's probably the best thing that I can say to you with the situation. I know that you're kind of like concerned about how things are actually going to unfold for you, but this is me telling you what your assignments are, my love. Grab a pen and paper, because they're being very clear about what it is. So the assignment for you with the situation is, hey, Marie, thank you for stopping into the space. So the assignment, this is how you're going to be able to fix it bit by bit. They're starting with the daughter at first for me. So helping the daughter to be able to articulate herself, I don't know if she seems to be, I don't want to say an introvert, because I don't think that she is. I think that sometimes she shows up as shy, but that's because her confidence, like she's still building that. So, um, yeah, yeah. I feel like there's a lot that's with that situation is so big and is so heavy. The more you help her to be able to articulate and understand some of the feelings that she's feeling, because she's very confused right now. She's going through a very emotionally fragile place right now. Mentally, she's very fragile. There's a lot of thoughts that she doesn't necessarily know how to process, a lot of feelings that she doesn't necessarily know how to process. Is anger starting to show up in her behavior at the minute? Because I'm getting the sense that there's a lot of because she's starting to get like very, very heavily frustrated at the minute, and she's struggling because of all the stuff that she's trying to get her head around. But it's hard for her to get her mind around these real grown-up situations, to be fair, especially considering that she's only 7, her mind is still developing. um, but the more you help her to be able to articulate, she's the main focus, basically. She's the main focus. And when I say she's the main focus, it doesn't necessarily mean that you put all of your energy into her, because you need some energy in reserve for yourself as well. But she's the main focus because you don't want her to internalize your situation and project that into her reality later in life for herself. Okay, so they're basically saying to me your assignment is to protect the little one and nurture yourself in the process. Do you have a partner that supports you as you're navigating through the situation? Because that's also one of the things that I'm hearing, maybe a little bit of a struggle as well, because there may be disappointments there in that particular space as well from time to time. Um, we're still teaching people how to love us. Do you know what I mean? Like, people are always going to love us how they choose to love themselves. So unfortunately, you kind of have to articulate what you need when you need it. So you're going to be utilizing your voice. Louise, I'm going to need you to get a little bit more stern, my love. That is also a part of your assignment. Yeah. I don't have OnlyFans. I should. I thought about it. But that's not a situation. There's too much seediness. So I'm like, I'll stick to YouTube, thanks. To be fair. All the other stuff, I'm supposed to be answering you guys' question. Blackbridge goes, okay, Yuri. That's what we're going with. I received the compliment. Stern. Stern, I'm not gonna say in general, but stern with, yeah, I'm hearing in general. I'm hearing in general. So what do I mean by that? So this situation basically showed up because there was an imbalance with the assertiveness. You were being assertive, but at the same time, you were kind of being a little bit too nice. And I hate to say that because that just sounds sad. You know what I mean? You should be able to like be, the Empress is laughing. I'm just saying. You should be able to be who you are and actually be comfortable and feel okay to be accepted. But unfortunately, a lot of the times in the world that we live in, there's a lot of dark forces here, and those dark forces, they host in other human, and they sometimes don't know how to take our kindness as a tool of empowerment. They take it for a weakness, and then we fall into certain patterns as a result. So the recommendation is that if you are to protect your daughter as you move forward as well, and help her process a lot of this stuff that you're navigating through at the minute. Your daughter is the bridge basically to the family being able to navigate through this and come back together stronger and healthier. But it does require you being stern. So you're going to grow a lot throughout the process of this. A lot. I don't know what the situation's going to be like for you guys. But over the course of the next few months, over the course of the next few months, by the end of the year, I want to say that it feels a little bit more like by the end of the year, going into like February times, maybe, it feels like things are a little bit more harmonious in terms of the family dynamics. Okay. Right, guys. There was, I think Empress put her question out there, so I'm going to go and ask her question. I hope that was useful for you, my love, Louise. Let me go and have a look and see. Will any communication happen between you and Tamir? Okay, let's have a look. Empress and Tamir. Communication. What do you guys... Oh, you guys have a whole story, Empress. Oh, my God. What has been going on with you guys? Like, literally half the deck done fell out, girl. What has been going on? Like, tell me the tea, because this is a whole situation right here. So I'm going to read you a half a deck story. I am seeing that there's going to be communication is going to be withheld. There is going to be delayed communication. Okay, that's ultimately what we're navigating through at the minute. There is going to be delayed communication. Somebody's holding off until they can get some more clarity. Okay, so I don't know what conversations you guys are having, but somebody's like, I'm not really. Marie said she wants to change her question. Okay. So Empresses, I like it. Okay. Nadira, okay. Let's have a little look. You guys have got a lot going on in here, man. So the communication, it seems as though it's going to be delayed for a little bit. I want to say at least up to 6 weeks I'm hearing for the communication. Why I say up to 6 weeks is because it's not going to be steady until about 6 weeks from now. That's when it's going to pick back up momentum. For now, you might start to get some sort of influx in the next 3 weeks, but it's just going to be inconsistent. It starts to get a little bit more consistent as far as the flow around about the 6 weeks mark. But yeah, this person's too busy like living their best life. I don't know how else to put it. Like, when I say living their best life, they've got different things that they're focused on at the minute. And it's not to say that you're not a priority, no offense, but it's just right now, relationship in general is just not a priority for them. There's other things that they're kind of like focusing their energy on at the minute. And that's really what's taking a lot of their time as far as them being able to kind of like flow back into your orbit as far as the situation. But give it some time, okay? 3 weeks from now, you'll start to be able to see some sort of inconsistent flow of communication. Don't pester, okay? Don't just get a little something and then start asking for a whole new plate of stuff. Like, be grateful for what you have. Practice some gratitude, and the universe will continue to bless you with more. And eventually, you will adjust to that timeline of the gratitude that you've been putting out there. And that should then kind of, I guess, be grounded by the 6th week. Okay? I hope that that was useful for you. But you guys are funny people. You and this ex is funny people, because I see you guys' energy is like, yeah, the dynamics between you guys is hilarious for the most part, to be fair. You guys like playing a little bit of game with each other to keep each other on their toes, and I get that vibe. Just to see how much they like me, or just to see if they're still interested. I just want to know. I'm still on their hard drive type thing. That's the whole vibe I'm getting from you guys. But yeah, that's all good, Louise. I'm glad that you enjoyed your reading. I think, who was next? I'm going to go and see. Yuri didn't have a question. Yuri's just out here actually like asking me personal questions. So that's a whole other show. I think Marie was next, if I'm not mistaken, actually. Yeah, I think Marie was next. All right, Marie, we're on to you, my love. Let me see if I can have a little look and find your question. Oh, it is you, my love. Don't worry. You are sure. Never doubt yourself, beautiful. You're sure. You're good. So, this is your question here, Marie. So, sorry, let me actually, where will you be? There we go. Will there be communication for you and B? I'm going to put some cards on this for you. At the minute, what I'm going to say to you from what I can see with the situation, there's not enough time for a relationship. And this is what happens a lot of the time, right? We're so busy like living purpose and stuff, and that's like the main focus or whatever, and spirit wants us to be able to focus on that. We don't even realize that we actually don't have time for a personal life in that way, as far as like romance and stuff. But you know, we try and make it work, and then we take on all these additional responsibilities, and it becomes a little bit chaotic in the environment, right? Because can we juggle all of these things? With this situation, I'm seeing that there's not a balance in the work and personal life, so it's going to take a minute with communication. Is Marie going to receive communication from B? Oh God, the cards are getting all mixed up. There's a whole bunch of stuff taking place. Let's see. Communication is going to be withheld for a little while. I'm not going to lie. Communication between, okay. Thank you, guys. There's something that you need to do. There's something that you need to do first, okay. So what I'm seeing with the situation, right, the communication is going to be impulsive when it does happen. It's going to be very sporadic, very spontaneous. It's probably going to kind of like catch. Marie said, guys, look at what Marie just said. Okay. Marie just asked if she should be out here posting more thirst traps. Oh, I love you for that, actually. Thank you for the kicks and giggles tonight. I love that. No more posting thirst traps. I think you're doing a good job. You've got an adequate, sufficient amount of thirst traps that are being posted at the minute. I think basically what's happening right now with the situation is when was the last time that you guys had communication, Marie? Because I'm getting the sense that he's actually kind of getting this person. Oh, they're getting ready to actually like maybe accept the breakup and move on. When was the last time you guys had communication? Because they may be in a different place with the situation. Let's see. Yeah. They're learning to accept it. They still feel some sort of like, was it like a clash of the egos? Was it one of those types of situations? Like, no, I'm right. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. Because I'm feeling he's my ex, and I texted him to see how he was doing because he followed me on social. Okay. Yeah, because it seems like there's some stuff that still needs to be kind of worked out in that space. I feel like are you ready to move on? Yes, we didn't speak for 8 months because no one would say sorry. That sounds about right, because that's how it felt. That's how it felt in the space. Like nobody was prepared to budge. Nobody was like willing to like just surrender. Okay, cool. They may be ready. They're not quite there yet. They're not coming in to give you an apology. Let me make that very clear. But they do miss you. And the thirst traps are working, girl. I'll tell you that much. Like, not at all. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I think they miss you, and I think you've still been on their mind. I think they're ready to move on. But, and however, I want to make this very clear with you guys, okay? No, okay, so let me make it clear. When I say move on, I move on from that argument, okay? Because you guys basically you stagnated the journey for about 8 months, okay, and here you guys are picking back up some momentum and trying to figure out what direction to go from here. I think that there will be a breakthrough. I think that there will be communication for you guys, okay. I want to say maybe at least a good couple of weeks. No, it's not. It's not like that. It's not like that, beautiful. He's definitely still out here, like feeling lonely. The thirst traps, like I said, they definitely out here working. Like getting his mind working at the same time as well. But I think it's more of a situation where both of you guys have to be prepared to kind of like lay down the old pattern because you guys can't go back into it in the same way. I think that they may be ready to kind of in the next couple of weeks because it's a journey and they're still getting to that point on the journey where they're actually open to being able to move forward. But it's one of those situations where if you go back into the space and do the same old things, you guys are going to have the same level of stagnancy. And the one thing that I want to make very clear to you, if this is somebody that you feel like this is my person and you actually want to make it work and cultivate a future together, you guys can't keep letting your ego win, unfortunately. Like you have to love each other more than you want to be right about certain situations, unfortunately. When it comes down to certain things, because that may be one of the biggest challenges that you guys will continue to face in the relationship as you progress forward. I do think things starts to get hot and steamy over the holidays. Okay, so his timing's impeccable. Snap. Like clearly he didn't want to be spending Christmas alone. But what I will say is it's one of those things where I feel like there's definitely going to be a truce with the situation. And if you guys disrupt the pattern with this actual thing moving forward, because if you can imagine, you're constantly building your foundations with somebody, and every time like these types of situations happen and you guys separate, now the foundation, like it's like building work. Nothing's being done on the premises for 8 months. You guys ain't done nothing to the foundation for the last 8 months. So every time you're building, you got to keep it consistent. You guys just got to be willing to grow with each other. Okay. I see a promising future for you guys, provided that you guys are willing to just say, you know what? I don't feel like giving into the energy today, or I don't feel like playing the little mind game today, or I just feel like being still right now. And that's it. Okay. Right. I hope that was useful for you there, beautiful. That's pretty much. Do you know what? Let's talk about this, Marie. The ego doesn't need to go anywhere. The ego is a necessary part of the human experience. The ego is the editor. You know, it literally is perspective itself, here to learn how to expand upon itself through the experiences that we have with other people. Other people teach us a lot about ourselves. Oh no, that's okay, beautiful. That's okay. I'm going to be here every Friday. But what I'm saying to you with the situation, you don't need to let go of your ego. What you need to do is integrate your ego. So your ego needs to be, you need to be willing to continue to grow in your perspectives and expand on what you think is right, because right is subjective depending on who's having what experience at what time in their life. So provided that you guys are both willing to be aware of the fact that even when you're right, you're wrong to somebody else, it might make it a little bit easier to maintain and manage your egos a little bit better in this space. Because the ego, this whole stuff about killing ego, It's not necessarily something that I subscribe to, because I understand that the ego is a necessary part of the journey, but I do understand that the ego needs to continue to level up and grow and evolve and expand so that we can see a broader perspective. Because sometimes we just get wrapped up in our own perspective, man. That's what we care about. That's what the ego is for. Snap. That's its job. Absolutely, Marie. There you go, man. That's what I'm talking about. I think I had... Hey, Summer, I don't know if you're still in the room. I'm going to make you my last person. A good fella too is out here putting some racial slurs out there. That's okay. I'm cool. I'm fully aware that I am beyond what my physical body represents. I will pray for you. God bless you, my love. Okay. That part. We'll go with Summer. Do you have anything that you want to put out there, Summer? We're going to close out the space with your final question. If you've got anything, put it out there and we'll just wrap up the space for tonight, because I'm past the 2 hours. God's got me doing overtime over here. You know, I said to him 90 minutes and he got me out here for like a whole 2 hours. But yes, beautiful. If you're still in the space, Summer, put your question out there and I'll be able to, I guess, put that out there in to the ethers and see what the guides have to say about it. No? Are you a slow typer? Are you one of those one finger typers trying to take your time to figure out what it is that you want to say? Oh, there we go. That was quick. Thank you, Summer. Beautiful. Love that. Okay. What can you expect in love? Oh, wow. What can Summer expect in love, guys? What can Summer expect? Oh. Forgiveness and learning. Forgiveness and learning. So what I'm seeing with the situation as far as your love life at the minute, question. Well, I can tell because I can see you out there like remotely. I can see you out there like, but I love that. Thank you for putting the question out there. Okay, beautiful. I appreciate you for that. So what I'm seeing with your love life situation, is there somebody that has still got connections to your heartstring? Because I'm seeing that forgiveness is going to be crucial to what you're navigating through in terms of your romance. Talk to me about this. There's something that you are needing to overcome. There may be a poor decision in romance, because a lot of the times when forgiveness shows up, you know, we're so busy thinking that it's about forgiving the person that's wronged us, but a lot of the times the person that we can't forgive is ourselves, for making those poor decisions in the first place. So give me a little bit of insight. Is there someone that you're maybe still struggling with overcoming, how that relationship basically manifested itself? Because I'm seeing basically on the cards that there potentially may be an ex in particular that you pretty much, I don't want to say had to get away from, but you needed to be out of that situation to continue to grow. Are you working at forgiving someone in terms of romance at the minute, or are you working on being forgiven? Because these are some... Brian. Oh, forgiveness. He has a name. Okay. All right, let's see the unfolding with you and Brian. Let's just go into it and do like a full scope. What do you see happening with Summer and Brian as they move forward? Oh, is there situations regarding some jealousy? Clarify that to me, because they're saying to me that may be a factor with the situation. Is that anything to do with the forgiveness? Stuff to do with jealousy? Yeah, it's interesting. All right, so what I'm seeing sort of taking place with you guys is that It seems like for the most part, you guys are going through a recovery period. Yeah, thank you. That's the thing that I'm like literally trying to understand with the situation, because one of the things that they were saying is that there's some jealousy that's playing out in the space, and situations aren't necessarily seeming realistic. And when I say realistic, they're literally just talking about like what has been tangibly manifested just yet, or what is probable, basically still up in 5D trying to come down depending on certain variables to the situation. It's all universal maths, guys. I don't even want to get too nerdy on you guys. Let's keep it to this space at the minute. But what I'm seeing is that with the situation with you and Brian, it seems as though you guys are going to be going through a recovery period, but it's going to take a while for things to really um move. I'm seeing like at least a good 9 months for anything to really start to develop. I can't even lie, beautiful. I'd love to even like give you a shorter timeline, but unfortunately, that's the journey that you guys are on. We have these destinations where things just happen. Do you know what I mean? That's the point where the stars have aligned for the most probable timelines to manifest themselves. So I'm seeing that it's going to be about 9 months or so. You're going to be doing a lot of learning in the process. You're going to have to do a lot of forgiving in the process as well. Because although you say that you want him, a part of you also resents him. And that's just me keeping it 100% honest with you. Not because he's a horrible person. We're all human at the end of the day. Who are we to judge another? But just because some of his decisions kind of like it left you feeling uncared for and uncatered to. Okay, so you're going to be nursing your heart, I guess, for the next 9 months whilst he works on getting a little bit of clarity in his mind space as well, because I don't think that he's all the way sure um, what he wants with the situation. What is that, Yuri? I didn't even know you were still in the space. You're just sat here like sipping tea in the space, giving your little 2 pence. I love it. Thank you for that. Is that what you're offering, Yuri? Come on now. Come on now. I wouldn't know if they do. Yeah, I wouldn't know if they do. Not my speed, but thank you for letting me know. I don't know about with cook and clean. I can cook and clean, but I'm very much a 21st century type woman. I'll be very clear on that. Yeah, okay, I'm looking for a partner, not a dictator or an actual domineer. That's not my speed. Okay, I'm okay to be submissive to the right kind of man who is led by God. Thank you kindly. Praise Jesus. Hallelujah. Crystal, my love, let's go and get into your actual reading. Thank you for stopping into the room, BTW. I'm wondering what to expect in my love life over the next few months. Oh, Crystal. There's so much going on in love at the minute, guys. Like, I do think that there's something coming. I want to say within the next 8 weeks I'm getting for you, actually, funny enough. They're giving me like an 8 to 9 weeks timeline where you actually have a turning point in the romantic situation. That's okay, Summer. Thank you, my love. Hopefully you can take some notes on this, Crystal, because I kind of being specific with the situation. So about 8 to 9 weeks from now, there's going to be some sort of development in terms of your romance. So there may be somebody that you're interested in, or somebody that is expressing their interest in you. With the situation, you're actually going to be thinking on whether or not their potential is enough for you to step into the space right now. I do see progress kind of like taking place. So there is a dating period, I guess, kind of like taking place. But even whilst you're dating, it's kind of like you're unsure of this person. So it's like somebody comes in about 8 to 9 weeks from now. By week 12, you're still kind of like trying to suss them out and trying to figure out whether or not you want to actually like properly invest your time any further into the situation. Um, that's as far as I can see on the timeline for you, my love. I think the confusion is blurring the path whether or not you actually move forward with this person or not. Is there somebody currently? Yeah, yeah, that's probably it. A lot of the times it's difficult for us to really be able to like move forward when we're still carrying so much heaviness on our hearts. Um, With the past situation, I see that as a no-go. So are you still open to that at the minute? Because I see that as sometimes rejection is God's protection. So I almost see that as God trying to protect you both from each other at the minute. Is probably the best way that I can put it. But um, is that something that you're still yearning over? Are you still longing for that person at the minute? Just give us a little bit of perspective on the situation. What is the advice for Crystal as she navigates through these coming months in terms of her romantic situation? Okay. I'm looking for advice for you on the situation, my love, because I understand that you are nursing your heart and there's a lot to kind of navigate through with the situation. Yeah. Yeah. I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. I think the situation that you guys are navigating through, there's definitely, how can I put it? You guys are both longing for each other, like out there, like both longing for each other. It feels like unfinished business, basically. Um, yeah, it feels like unfinished business. The overall advice for you is really just being able to, how can I put it? There's some changes that's taking place in the situation, but it has to happen in a certain type of way. Um, there's changes. I don't know. Somebody was like not really thinking about the consequences of certain actions. I don't know if I'm right in saying that, but that may be one of the things that is going through a turning point as well. There's a lot of scattered thoughts as well about the situation, and that's also going through a little bit of a turning point with the situation. For the most part, what I can see is that both of you guys are actually still very much going through this dance of an emotional entanglement with each other. So, yeah, I think they're still very much connected to you just as much as you're feeling connected to them. Um, but there's some changes that's definitely going to be taking place, and it will take place. Um, Let me clarify. Is the person that's going to be reaching out, is this the ex reaching out in the next few weeks from what I saw? Okay, just so that you can see for confirmation yourself, my love. Okay, this may be the ex itself that is reaching out. I said to you, I think I said to you an 8 to 9 weeks timeline. So there may be some sort of communication taking place around about that timeline. And it's still, as much as like there's feelings invested, it still seems sketchy as to whether or not you guys are going to actually like go the distance with the situation. And let me put this across to you, like no situation's perfect. Do you know what I mean? Like everything comes with its own challenges in life, and You just have to decide what challenge you're prepared to face and which challenges you're prepared to work at and work for. And you just kind of, both of you guys at the end of the day just need to really have that discussion, like figure out, okay, this is the maths. This is a challenge that we're up against. What can we do to be able to move this to make us come together and actually just have those conversations? Because it seems like being apart is killing you guys. But also being together as well is also equally killing you guys, because it feels like neither of you really want to connect in that way. It's like when a baby's trying to like suckle the mum. I know that's like a weird analogy, but that's the vision that they're giving me. But they're not able to. So because of your fears, both of you have these fears that it's not going to get anywhere. So you're not really committing to it, but just try it. Do you know what I mean? And if you put all your effort into it, yes, you'll be met with resistance, but it depends on how much work you're willing to put in to move past those resistance, because those currents and tides, they too shall pass. Do you know what I mean? It's just a temporary thing. Nothing's forever. It's only permanent. If we continue to validate it and we continue to give life to it with our words and our thoughts and our feelings and all of these different things, like it only becomes permanent when we continue to go down that path of making it a permanent fixture in our life. So yes, if you believe there is a path that you can go with this person, but it is going to take a lot of work because of the fact that you're going to be met with a lot of resistance. Okay, beautiful. I hope that was useful for you. At least you've got a timeline. Snap. That's all they're allowing me to give to you. There's a lot of fears around the situation, but there's also a lot of love. And fear is only the condition of love. So if you guys want it enough, just, do you know what? Say fear, not right now. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I understand how much this means to me. I understand how much I want it. So thank you for bringing this to my attention, but I think I'm going to take a different approach with it, because fear sometimes tends to get a little bit hyper vigilant. I'm not going to say for no reason, because fear serves a very particular purpose, but sometimes it keeps us stagnant because we aren't able to push past it. Okay. And at the end of the day, when fear actually like highlights whatever it's able to see in, the atmosphere, it's just for us to kind of like take note and think, okay, be careful. Caution is different to fear. And sometimes fear is actually there to provide us with caution, but we're so used to feeding the fear itself, we actually grow it, we nurture it, we cultivate it. Snap, we actually build a shop and set up home. Okay, so let's try not to do that. That's even something that I would take personally as guidance for myself and anybody else that's still in the room, anybody else that's watching this. Like, fear doesn't have to run us. It depends on how we choose to utilize it. It's a very useful shadow when we're navigating through certain situations, because it lets us know when we're in certain low vibrational density, and that in itself is actually the cheat code on how to override whatever it is that we're up against if we know how to use it. Okay, on that note, I'm gonna love you guys and leave it there for you guys, because you are my final one in the room tonight. Crystal, thank you guys for stopping in. I said I was coming in for 90 minutes, and God had me in here for a whole 2.5 hours, y'all. Okay, but I'm glad that you guys stopped in. I'm glad that I could be of service to you guys tonight. I'm glad that God was able to utilize me to deliver whatever information or question has been on your hearts for a while. I shall be back here again next Friday, same place and time, for Free Yourself Fridays. Just checking in with you guys and finding out what's going on in your world, and just letting you guys know what the angels are advising for you guys as you navigate through the process. Okay, my loves. I hope everything I was able to provide has been useful for you guys. And if you guys haven't already done so, subscribe, man. Xavier, I'm going. I'm sorry, my love. I'm literally, that was the last little final signing out. I have to kind of like put my foot down on the situation, but tune in next Friday If you can't wait till next Friday, drop me an email, I guess. Shakima8@gmail.com. I'm putting it out there. That's like my YouTube Gmail, anyways. But for the most part, just subscribe and tune in next Friday, 9:30 p.m. GMT. And I'll be here doing readings for you guys, hopefully for 90 minutes, because damn, like God got some overtime tonight. I'm signing out there, guys. On that note, I will see you guys next Friday. I'm gonna love you guys and leave it there. Okay? No. God bless. Take care, guys. Signing out.